Hello lovely people, today I'm going to show you how to make that traditional spring rolls wrapper and filling. If you can follow my steps in this video, I'm sure you can get it right on your first try. Alright, so I'm not really doing vegetarian spring rolls. I'm going to add some pepperoni. Feel free to add sausage or meat, any kind of protein you like. So prep your ingredients. I'm using pepperoni, cabbage, carrots, onion, and some spices, which I'll be leaving in the description below. So feel free to check it out, okay? So I'll start by slicing my cabbage. Next, I cut my onion, then grate the carrots. Okay, don't go and cut your carrots into cubes, or because at the end of everything, it might rip off your wrapper when you're done, when you're wrapping it. It might rip it up. So please try and follow the steps I used, okay? If this is your first time coming to my channel, well, let me introduce myself. My name is Chioma and you are welcome. Sit tight while I show you guys how to make traditional spring rolls, okay? If you haven't subscribed, please, this is the right time to hit that subscribe button, okay? Share this post, this video, like, comment. Let me know whether you have tried spring rolls and spring rolls fillings and spring rolls wrapper before in the comment section, okay? Let me know if you have difficulties with it, your experience with it. Anyway, if you can stick around, by the end of this video I'm going to share with you how you can store your spring rolls, okay, and fry anytime you want to fry it. In the bowl I have my flour, I have my sugar, salt, okay, combined together. You know, to me, making spring rolls wrapper just with flour and salt, or some people don't even use salt at all, it's like cooking with salt with no Maggi. I don't know how that would taste like, but me, I like to have my spring rolls wrapper tasty, you know, not just plain flour and salt. So I combine sugar and salt a little bit, okay, to give it a good flavor. Then add water in bits. Don't go and add your water at once. Add it in bits until you get the consistency in this video. And again, do not stress yourself too much, okay? When you see that the flour, the batter is not really mixing very well the way you want it, just make sure you've tried your best, then put it in the fridge. I like to do this before I go ahead to make my fillings, okay? So that before I finish making my fillings, my spring rolls batter is ready, it's smooth. You see, what the fridge does to it is it makes the mixture and everything to come together and become smooth. So that's why I do that. So for the spring rolls filling, the first thing I do, since I'm using pepperoni, you can still do this when you're using another protein. Just put a little oil and fry the meat you're using. You know how it is when you're cooking your rice or stew, whatever, and you fry your meat, then use that oil to make your stew. You see, all the flavor in the meat, everything will release inside the oil, making your final the final outcome so delicious. So that's the same thing I actually did here. So right now, this oil now is flavorful. So the next thing to do is to add your onion. You need to fry your onion. Don't fry it too much, just saute it a bit with a little margarine. The taste of margarine in spring rolls, it's so nice. You know how margarine is for we bakers. If you bake with margarine, you know the taste of margarine. Me, I prefer margarine more than butter. so I use a little bit of margarine. So saute your onion a little bit, then add your cabbage, okay, and mix everything together. Fry on a low heat, not really low heat, medium to low heat. Fry it until you've cooked your cabbage a bit before adding anything again. So add your seasoning cubes and salt. I'll be adding curry in this recipe as well. Ghana English. I'll be adding curry. This is for my Nigerian sisters. I'll be adding curry. So add a little bit of curry. I cannot give you measurements of this curry and salt and seasoning cube. Come on, we all cook in the house, so you should add to taste. Okay, there is no measurement for it. So saute everything together. Okay, when you see that the cabbage is becoming a little soft, it's not hard like when you poured it, then you cannot add your carrots, because cabbage takes time to cook more than carrots. So add your carrots and mix everything together. Then check for salt. Okay, make sure you add salt bit by bit. Don't add it once, because this type of food, there's no remedy of reducing of how to reduce salt when you overput salt. This one you cannot go and add more water or add yam to soak away the salt. So add salt bit by bit, unless you have more vegetables to add to reduce it. So when everything has cooked properly, then you cannot add your fried protein. I'm using protein because you might be using chicken, you might be using beef or gizzard. So mix everything together, then it's ready. Bring it out, allow it to cool while we proceed to make the wrapper. But remember, there is no limit to what you can add to your spring rolls filling, okay? You can add spring rolls, you can even add rice, you can add as anything you like at all. So far, it's a tasty filling. It's all good. Now you can see how the batter is looking. The gluten in the flour has developed. Now is workable. So the next thing to do is to heat up your pan. Okay, you can find this pan in the market or something. Heat up your pan and grease it with vegetable oil. Don't go and put your batter without greasing, it will not come out. So grease it with a little tiny oil, then apply a little amount of batter. Okay, coat it, round it. Anywhere you see a hole or something, you can take another batter and cover it. All right. So do the same thing until all your batter is finished. Please make sure you cover each wrapper with a damp towel. Okay, just soak your towel in the water, squeeze it, make sure it's still wet but not like wet dripping water. Anytime you bring out your wrapper, you use it to cover it so that it doesn't dry out. If you don't cover your wrapper, it will dry out before you want to wrap it with the filling. Unless somebody is there, you're not alone. As you're bringing it out, somebody else is wrapping it immediately. But if you're going to wait until you finish everything, please cover with damp towel, okay, so that your wrapper doesn't dry out. And again, sometimes when you're bringing it out, maybe you left it and it stayed longer on the heat, okay, and it dries out. To get it, bring it back to life, you need to use the damp towel to cover it. You see the texture of my wrapper after I'm done. It's like fabric. If your wrapper is not like fabric, my dear, you run into trouble when you're wrapping it, because it will keep cracking. Don't worry about it. Even though it's looking like fabric, after frying it, you still get that crunch. You know, when you bite into spring rolls, you get that crunch. Definitely you will get it. Okay, all right. Sometimes you see things like this, like opening. That's because sometimes the carrots it's too strong or something, and you end up ripping the wrapper. So what you do in this when you find yourself in this situation, just get some of the sheet, the wrapper, whatever you call it, just dip it inside your glue and use it to cover it. Believe me, once it dries out, it's all good. Okay. And as for the glue is just basically flour and water mixed together. And if you have small batter from your wrapper, you don't need to mix another flour and water. You can use that one as glue. You can even use water to even wrap it. I've seen somebody doing that, but I've not tried it anyway. Unless you go and try that one, you on your own risk. Don't come and complain to me. But I've seen somebody using water to wrap it, but I use mixture of flour and water to wrap it. I think that's the perfect glue. So guys, once you finish wrapping your spring rolls, whether spring rolls or samosa, please always freeze them. So far your freezer is on 247. It will stay frozen, it will not spoil. And you can use a Ziploc bag to freeze them. Don't go and stack everything in one place, because anytime you want to fry it, bringing it out will be a problem. It will result to you breaking one or two, just because you want to separate them. So always use this takeaway plastic. You can use it to package it and freeze them in your freezer, or you can use I prefer what do you call it, Ziploc bag. Okay, for those of us that has cake shop, or you have small chops business or something, you can always bring it out anytime that your customer wants it and fry it. Okay, fry it on a medium low heat. Okay, don't go and use very high heat, and when you're frying it, don't leave it and go somewhere else. It will burn and you will not like that. I like to use deep fry. I don't like to use shallow, but shallow sometimes works, but you have to keep flipping. Anyway, this is it. Thank you guys for watching.